Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakat, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of North, Central, and South America, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, today I'm looking again at the MOTB. This is actually my third attempt putting this video together. I tried it yesterday and it failed. Tried it again this morning when I woke up, and now I'm on the third attempt for various different reasons. So I'm going to try and keep it straight to the point. I've got something here. You can see this video up on the screen. This YouTube video, Skynet 2024. The infrastructure is complete, and this is regarding the MOTB. Now, just quickly, before I get into it, it's getting close to that time where this thing becomes mandatory. This particular prophecy, biblical prophecy, comes to pass, and so with that, it's quite important for this warning to go out. There could still be Israelites out there that are still waking up to this truth, and they need to understand the importance of this particular prophecy. It's the next major prophecy. We have World War III, we have the destruction of America, deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel, and a great time of tribulation that is about to befall this planet, and that is leading up to the day of the Lord, the great day of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. It's a time of judgment and a time of tribulation for all the nations, all the people all across the globe. And the only people that will survive those times and be comfortable and be able to eat will be the servants of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And this tribulation, a major part of it is the MOTB. Now that's the bit, if you might hear this acronym, MOTB, it's referring to what's written here. This is Revelation 13:16, and it says here, he causeth all, he being the powers that be, the banking elites, that, you got the beast system, EU and the NATO, and you have this worldwide economic, geopolitical, financial system, and it's manipulated and controlled by the banking elites, and they set forth the agendas, the political agendas, the financial agendas, and the social agendas that get pushed around the globe, especially in the Western society. So when it says here, he causeth all, that's talking about the powers that be. Causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So everybody you can think of pretty much, to receive a mark in their hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for the number of a man, and his number is 666. But when you focus on verse 16 and 17 to identify this MOTB, the MOTB is the acronym. It says here, he will cause all to receive a mark. Now the ancient word here, the ancient Greek word, this text was what it was translated to English from. We're reading it in the English now, but it was translated from the ancient Greek, and that word is charagma. Some people say charagma, some people say haragma, and that means an incision. So it says here, the powers that be, he causeth all to receive an incision. And then it goes on to say, in the right hand. Now, again, going back to the ancient Greek, the word right goes back to dexios, which is your power hand, your dominant hand. You might be, for example, if you're going to write something, you're more than likely to use one particular hand. For myself, I would use my right hand, and so that makes my right hand my dominant hand. It's more dominant than my left hand. If I had to do something, very delicate, and I didn't want to mess it up, I'm more likely to use my right hand than my left hand, because it's more dominant. It has better strength, better control. That's the word dexios. When you look at people who are good at using both hands in a particular thing, like for example, when I used to paint and decorate, I used to paint houses, and when I first started to paint, I could only paint a straight line with my right hand. And so I'd go up a ladder and I'd do a straight line on the top of the wall, and I go down the ladder and I go along and I go up and I do another straight line, and that'll take you forever to go around the room. So to make it quicker, you had to learn to use your left hand. So by practicing, eventually I became ambidextrous, and that means powerful in both hands. So I'm able to go up a ladder and paint a straight line with my right hand and my left hand. So in that particular scenario, I'm ambidextrous. But when it comes to writing words on a piece of paper, I can only do that with my dexios, my powerful hand, my dominant hand, or in their foreheads. And then it goes on to say, no man might buy or sell. So these are key things. This is something that you're going to be told, look, you're going to need this in order to buy or sell. And it's something that comes at you via an incision. An incision where? Into your dominant hand or into your forehead. Now when you look at that, what gives you the ability to pay for goods and is used via having an incision in your dominant hand or in your forehead. That's AI technology. That's what this is referring to. So if you're new and you hear the MOTB and you're wondering about this particular prophecy, it's written off here, and it's referring to AI technology merging with humans, the incision in the skin, in the dominant hand or in their foreheads. So the fact that it goes into the word forehead goes back to the word metapon, which is your thinking process. So you might be, you might take this AI technology in the incision in your dominant hand in order to buy and sell things, to swipe like you would with your credit card, or you may have a disability, and to take an incision in the forehead in your thinking process, in your metapon, working with the AI technology to enhance your bodily function. I'll put up a link for a video. GMS Watchman, I think yesterday, he put up a video about this particular person who had his arm amputated, and if you listen to the way the guy explains it, is exactly how I've been explaining it for a few years. He's had his arm amputated, but his brain thinks his hand is still there. So it sends messages from his brain, electrical impulses down his arm, and there's no hand to receive the message and move and function. But now this guy has a microchip in his arm, and it receives the signals from where? From his metapon, from his forehead, from the thinking process of his brain. And it receives the message in electrical impulse. It then translates that into a mechanical message, and the man now has a robotic arm attached to his elbow, and then that microprocessing chip is transferring the messages from his metapon into a mechanical movement and making the mechanical arm control and move. And he uses words like sensors and electrical impulses. I've explained that many times. The way that these Edomites have taken the car and attached all these sensors around it, they can do that with the AI technology. Take the human being, which is like the car, add sensors to it, and every time your brake pad's low or your oil is low, they're expecting a warning light to come up. So this is what they're trying to do with the human being. This is talking about, if you like, transhumanism, AI merging with humans, bionic, whatever, however you want to phrase it. So that's the next major prophecy to come to pass. And what you need to know is you need to avoid it. If you're an Israelite living in the land of America and you take this particular device, then you will be destroyed in the nuclear fire. If you're an Israelite outside of, or anyone outside of America that takes this, you may not, be destroyed in the day of judgment by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, but you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer grievous sores, cancerous reactions, and we're coming up to the time of tribulation. So things are going to get real bad. Just before I move on into the subjects, Matthew chapter 24, 21, for then shall be great tribulation. That's the time we're approaching. We're approaching that time fast, and it falls into line with this MOTB, order out of chaos. You're seeing various different types of chaos being created around the globe. Financial chaos, inflation. We're heading towards a financial meltdown, and we have World War III, and you have civil war on the cards in America. You've got all sorts of problems within society, a lack of respect, a lack of people looking after the community, and then you have people out there living all sorts of ways according to different sexual immoralities. There's all sorts. You look at the world and it's ripe for taking, and a lot of this chaos, a lot of these things that are going on, especially the violence, especially the shoplifting, the police are allowing these, not just in America. You go to the UK, these teenagers are raiding shops, they're getting away with it, the police are letting them do it. They're allowing crime to increase, they're allowing immigration to increase, they're allowing the inhabitants of these different countries become upset. They're bringing financial woes. They will bring more pestilence very soon when it comes down to making this MOTB mandatory. Civil war. This is all bringing civil war. This is bringing a good excuse for them to bring you the answer, and the answer will be the MOTB. If you take this will save you from all the problems. And it says here, for then shall be great tribulation. So that's the time we're coming up to. We're living in it now. And you've seen the tribulations being created. The fires have been sparked all around the globe. And we're heading towards that time. Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. So that's one hell of a warning. You've got the word of the Most High pretty much is obviously Matthew chapter 24. It's Yahushai. How much more of a warning do you need? You're living in a time where Yahushai says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. So this is, you're about to witness, you're about to live through, and Lord willing, if you're part of the elect, you survive it, you're about to live through the wickedest, the most evil, the most judgmental. There's wicked people out here, and the Most High is coming to judge people. So you're living in one hell of a time. You're about to witness it like the world has never seen before and will never see again. At the minute things seem calm, you're able to go to work, you're able to get on with your job, take your family out on the odd day trip. These people, they hear the message, and they live in their bubbles. People live in individual bubbles. I used to do that before I came to the truth. The world's wicked. You hear all these things and you think, well, if I just live in my bubble and do my thing, we'll see how it goes. And that's what a lot of people do. So they might hear the truth, they might hear all these things. We tell them, look, digitization is coming, and they can see it. And then we say, look, it's going to come, it's going to hit you quicker than you think. They're going to pull a false flag event. They might pull a disease, a pestilence out there, and bring down this economy. And all of a sudden they're going to force this system on you. You're going to have no choice to take it. You're going to take it because you want to feed your family. The scriptures tell you if you take it, you will be judged by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. So now you're in a dilemma, and that dilemma in the book of Revelation is known as the time of temptation. And it says that except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Now it says here, no flesh will be saved from the tribulation, and the tribulation is based around the MOTB. You go back to Revelation chapter 13, it says he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive this incision in the dominant hand or in their metapon, into their thinking process, the AI technology. So he causeth all, and it says, and expect those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved. So, whatever this devil was about to do, if he was allowed to carry on and on and on, eventually there will be no flesh saved. And why is that? It's because he's trying to merge the flesh with the AI. And that's the this mad scientist mentality of these banking elites and the people who run this industry, and this global scenario that we're witnessing now. So as we're what we're doing, we're walking you through the process of the MOTB. If you go to visit a factory, you might go to visit a stadium on a tour, or you might be a Chinese businessman, and people will invite you over to their country. Let's say you invite them over to the UK, you take them around your factory and you show them how as a business you operate and what you do, your production line. So now you go for this tour. Imagine you go to a tour now for a car factory, and what will happen on a car factory? They'll have the chassis of the car, the frame, and that will get put on a conveyor belt or some sort of system that will carry it along a pathway through the factory. And then these other pieces of the car, which have been pre-made, will be located along the production line. So as you're going on this tour of this car factory and you see the production line, and the car starts off as a frame at the beginning of the conveyor belt, and as it moves down slowly, it gets to one station and somebody will add the doors. Then it goes to the next station, somebody adds the bonnet. Goes to the next station, somebody adds the windscreen. So this is like the production line. And what you'll notice is all these other individual pieces have been pre-made. So the windscreen has been pre-made, the engine has been put together, pre-made, the gearbox, the transmission has been pre-made. And so when it follows this production line, these different pieces get added on. And so being in the Holy Spirit, being according to Yahweh Bahashim Hawashai, the secrets of the Most High are given to the servants of the prophets. So we're able to guide you through this process of the MOTB as it happens, live and direct. And so we bring out different information, and we show you that these different elements to the final product have already been produced. There is already a system in the shops in order to either scan your card or scan your phone. If you go back 30 years ago, they didn't have this technology. So when you look at it, we have a digital currency, a CBDC, that has been produced. 20-30 years ago, there was no digital currency like that. We have the BRICS and SWIFT. They've forced SWIFT to take on the CBDC. So you have all these different components, and we tell you that the MOTB is here because the technology is here, everything is here, ready to put into one and to make it happen. And we're in the time where they're bringing it together. So we're, as we go through these videos, we walk you through the production line. So every time, we explain, look, we've reached the next point, and now here's the next piece of the puzzle added to the MOTB, and here's the next piece added, CBDC added, and something else added, and eventually we get to the point where it's ready and it's good to go. And we're saying to you, this is going to be very soon, Lord willing, within the next year. You see that, and a major part of this MOTB is the Bluetooth Low Energy. Now you may remember Aaron Russo. He had that interview, and he spoke of total control with the MOTB. And to have total control, we understand what the MOTB is, the device under the skin, the AI technology. You have to have a network, and the network is like a mesh of connectivity between devices that allow them to communicate with each other. And so what you're seeing here, everyone is using Bluetooth Low Energy. Should you? BLE. Bluetooth Low Energy is one of the most widely applicable low power connectivity standards. And this is in no small part thanks to the explosion of the Internet of Things, which gave rise to a slurry of smart personal devices that needed common and efficient means of communication. It says, but don't be fooled, it's not just your smart band that has BLE. There are many commercial and business applications for this standard that made it so popular. So I'm not going to get too deep into it because I'm not really that technical, if I'm honest. If I got a problem with the computer, I'll give it to somebody. Even if I need to print stuff, I just get my wife to do it. So I'm not really that, the only social media account I have is the YouTube in order to make these videos. And if it weren't for that, you wouldn't catch me on social media, full stop. So I'm not really too technical, and I'm going to let you, I'm going to leave another link for this particular video up. This was sent to me. I'm going to let this man, what appears to be a Moabite, Chinese dude, explain it to you. Now this is Skynet 2024. The infrastructure is complete. This particular person calls it Skynet because he said the only way he can think of it is what he saw in the Terminator movie, where he had a Bluetooth system or some sort of satellite or communication system where devices were able to communicate within them. And what he's explaining is that you have this BLE network, and you have Android, and you already have iPhone on there, and so that's how you're able to find your iPhone even if your iPhone is switched off, because this BLE sends out a signal on a wider range, and it uses less power, so it lasts for longer. And now what's happened a week ago, this video is about 4 days old, so it's probably about 11 days ago now. So Google have joined. They've switched on their BLE infrastructure. They're connected to it. So that BLE situation now covers 100% of the products, the smart products around the globe. This is big news. And so now, this particular person is explaining that with this full coverage of devices with BLE all around the world, this 100% coverage, Google have joined. So that has now created this 100% coverage, and then now devices are able to communicate with each other. Now, your device will not be able to read someone else's device to see what's on it. So there, there's privacy in that sense, but the big brother that is in control of the situation will be able to use these other devices to locate your particular device. So all of a sudden now we have this network coverage, and that is able to detect people. And initially, older Bluetooth, what we used to normal Bluetooth, that only had a certain range. This BLE, these devices that are now created with BLE, they cover a wider range. The battery lasts for a longer time, lasts for a year, even if the device is switched off. And with it, they're able to locate you. So the privacy is disappearing. And this gentleman speaking on the video, he goes on to explain that your privacy goes out the window. They know who you're with, how much time you're spending with people, where you are, and this all goes back into that MOTB. Remember, it says he causeth all, and no flesh will be saved. So somehow these people, these Edomites, will have a system that will be able to locate everybody, track and trace, and know whether you're on this system or not. And once you're on this system, they'll be able to manipulate and affect you, even by switching your ability off to be able to gain access to things. And again, when you watch this video, he'll do a much better job than I can of explaining the technical side of it. But what he does go into is the fact that he's saying that they want you to take a device under your skin, but what's the point? We've already got that far because we all have these devices in our hand. Yes, you have older devices which don't have BLE, but that's going to obviously eventually, become less and less. We're out of fashion. New products being produced now all have BLE, which means they're able to communicate with each other, which means the privacy disappears. And he's saying, there's no need to take a device under your skin. They've already got our location. They know where we are. They know what we're doing. But, we all know, I can go out for the day, for the week, for the month and leave my phone at home. So what does it prove? So we all know eventually it will go to the MOTB. What could force you to we've said it many times, they could crash the financial system, get you onto a digital system. They could work it through the phone and with apps on a digital system, and eventually they could bring in the device under the skin. To do that, they have to create some sort of fear tactic, and that could be with the fact of disease and being able to locate people, track and trace. Remember 3 years ago, they wanted you 2 meters apart. That was a test run. And we've said all along, when this MOTB's out, you've got this device under your skin. Whatever crime you commit, they'll know exactly where you are, what street you're on. And this all goes back into the fact of BLE doing a better job than original Bluetooth of devices talking to each other and communicating. So this web, this mesh of connectivity, just like the production line, the parts are already been created, but now they're being added to the actual product, which is the MOTB. So now you've got Google that have joined the party. They've switched on their BLE network, and then now you have 100% coverage of this BLE system. So this is big news. And like I say, this particular person, he refers to it as Skynet, because the only thing he can refer it to is what he saw in the Terminator, so on and so forth. You'll be able to check that out for yourself. But another thing that I've mentioned all the time, which to me feels like a big thing, but maybe to other people it's not, is your citizenship. For your citizenship is what allows you to walk down the street when you actually consider it. You're born, you have this adhesion contract, it's your birth certificate, which in Kenya we've seen they'll be going digital. Devices will be under the skin very soon. So that's your birth certificate, and that puts you in the game as a citizen of that nation. And like I say, when you look at it in the black and white terms, you live up until an adult. No one demands anything off you. As soon as you're an adult and you work, you're of working age, they demand money off you. They demand money, taxes. What your taxes for? Well, it's for the street lights, it's for the streets. And I know that's a basic thing, but it's walking down the street. So imagine we get to this system where this MOTB's out, and in order to be a citizen, I have to take this device under my skin. So why should you be allowed to walk down the streets? Are you a citizen of this nation? Do you have a birth certificate? Do you have citizenship? Where's your proof? It should be under your skin. You're pulling out these pieces of paper, and people are going to tell you you're ancient, you're old-fashioned. That's old school. What's this piece of paper? That's like, now you're taking me back to the hieroglyphics. You get put in that category. So your citizenship is a big thing. If they change the format of your citizenship from today till tomorrow to a different version, technically you're now not a citizen until you go and get that new format. And if you're not a citizen, why are you walking down the streets of this nation? Why are you walking under the streetlights? Shouldn't you get deported? Where do you get deported to? And you don't have citizenship of any other nation. So now where do you go? You go to these martial law camps, and scriptures talk about beheading. So which is more likely to something that's more likely to take place in America. Especially with the amount of guillotines owned by the government. But it's all heading in that direction. And you got to realize when they change that, it's going to be a buying and selling issue. It's also going to be your citizenship. You'll basically become. Imagine you're walking around in the nation today, and you're a citizen, and you have this paper format, and tomorrow, the only thing that applies now is the digital format. So you're a legal immigrant. You're not a citizen of this nation. You're walking down the street, chuck him in the back of the van, and take him down to the impound. So it's going to get real drastic. You take this MOTB, Shai, it's definitely going to punish you severely. You know, the scriptures say, you know, when there is when there's, you know, they will say when they say there's peace and safety, there will be sudden destruction. That peace and safety will be the MOTB. Take this MOTB, and we can create some order out of this chaos. But ultimately, that's not going to be the right answer. But one other thing I want to look at. Yeah, so the other video, I'm going to leave the link for 3 videos in the description box. One for the GMS Watchman, one from that Moabite Skynet, and this third one, lab grown mini brain learns Pong. And you've probably, you know, seen it before. It's well known that you've got these you know, they've got this type of technology going on, and this is just a short video. It's only 7 minutes, and it kind of breaks down the technology. They pretty much take you know, foreskin skin, you know, from babies that have had their foreskin removed, and they take these cells and they you know, mix them with stem cells and put them in a dish and pretty much create a brain. And with the brain, they get the brain to play ping pong, and eventually the brain works out how to play ping pong, whatever, successfully. So, you know, this Esau, he's a mad scientist, and he's got all these different products out there, these different elements. You know, this is called mini brain, lab grown mini brain. You know, the brain in I think they call it the dish brain. You've got the dish brain out there. You've got CBDCs. You've got the device that is the size of a grain of rice, which is the RFID microchip to go under the skin. You know, you've got that BLE, that network that's now up and running. Google have joined it. So you've got all these things going on. And, you know, going back to the scriptures, that's why I picked those particular 2, because, you know, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So you have the all with that, you know, that BLE network technology. You have to join it. And if you don't join it, you don't have citizenship. If you don't have citizenship, why should you be walking down these streets? Should you not be deported? Deported to where? Or then they'll just throw you in a jail or you know, camp, a martial law camp or whatever else. I mean, you know, just to give you like I say, I've mentioned it before, possible scenario. You know, why is BLE so important to he causeth all? Because you know, if the financial system goes down, you know, no cash, no credit cards. So now you have to pay for everything through your phone. We're already conditioned to do that. At the minute, you can leave your phone at home, even if you're being tracked. But when you need your phone to buy and pay for things, you have to take your phone everywhere. And then, you know, it could then be a possible scenario that later on down the line, they bring a pestilence, and now everybody has to stay 2 meters apart. They're worried for your safety, and then they say take the device under the skin. And that way we can, you know, monitor and check everything, and, you know, all these jump shots that we need to give out, we can track them and take it from there. So what would happen is if at the minute you're using cash, credit cards, you can leave your phone at home. The phone's tracking you. Eventually they crash the financial system, so now you have to take the phone. And now with the BLE, they can find you wherever you are. So if now they say you got to come in and take this MOTB for the health and safety of everybody around you, you don't want to take it because you don't know it's the MOTB. You say, do you know what, I stay off the grid. But the phone, what you have on you, will help them locate you. And that's when they come and find you, drag you into the camps, into the martial law camps. So, you know, he causeth all. And the BLE is very important, because when they come looking for you, because you don't want to take the MOTB, they use the BLE to find you and pull you in. Like we've said many times, you know, they're more likely to crash the financial system, move you onto an app-based system. BLE, now they got your location. You have to take your phone everywhere. You need it to buy and sell. You can't just go on the run without your phone, because now that's the only way to buy, through the apps, digital system. And then there's a pestilence, for your safety, you need to come in and take this MOTB, just like they did before. And, if you don't, it doesn't matter this time because they got your location on the phone. So that's just one example, one possible scenario. But we know, when it comes to he causeth all, BLE is a big thing towards that. Obviously the money is another thing that causes all, because everybody needs money. And not only that, once you have to take the MOTB, anybody has to take it. Your citizenship, your buying and selling is all encompassed in that device under the skin. Again, the BLE will be in operation because citizens will be walking around the city, and it will track their location and have them, so you'll know who's where and where they are. So it'll work on two folds. And then it goes on to say, Matthew 24 and 22, there shall be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake those they shall be shortened. Because this mad scientist is really on this, trying to create lab brains, trying to create a brain inside a dish. And he's got this BLE network up so he can track and trace you. This is all, this is where he's at. So I hope that's edifying. I'm going to leave it right there. Until next time, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Kwadash. And until next time, Shalom.